So, smartphone photography is always a very interesting topic everyone knows about, very popular. Most people want to go into that. So in this video, this is the phone I'm going to be using to take the photos. So in this video, you're going to learn how to take good photos with a mid-range Android device. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So in today's video, I will share some helpful tips and tricks to help you take high quality photos with your mid-range Android device. So step 1, you need to clean your lens. As you all know, the first and most important step to capture your good photos is to keep your lens clean. Your lens may have dust, fingerprints and smudges, which can impact the quality of your photos. Therefore, make sure to keep your camera lenses clean and free from any dirt or obstructions. So step 2, you need to find a way to make use of good lighting, making the use of either ring lights or softbox lights. So yes, good lighting is crucial for capturing great photos. If there is not enough light, your photos may turn out blurry and noisy. So try to make natural light if possible and avoid using the flash. You can also adjust the brightness and contrast of your video or quality of your video to enhance the details in your photos. Step 3, adjust the camera settings. To take good photos with your mid-range Android device, it is essential to familiarize yourself with the camera settings. You can adjust settings like white balance, ISO, exposure, that your photo comes out looking professionally at the end. Step 4, use composition techniques. You can also use composition techniques to capture better photos. You can experiment with different angles and perspectives, and also the use of rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a technique where you divide the photos into 3 equal parts horizontally and vertically and place your subjects at the intersecting points. Step 5, edit your photos. After taking your photos, it is essential or not really essential for you to edit your photos. Editing can help enhance the quality of your photos and even more. You can use editing apps such as Lightroom, Photoshop Express, Visco to adjust the colors, contrast, brightness and sharpness of the photos.
We're here, all set and all good to go. The first thing we're going to be doing now is focus stacking. Focus stacking ISA technique that allows photographers to create a single image where objects on various focal planes are all in focus. Focus stacking, also called photo stacking or focus layering, can create the effect of a deeper depth of field without any loss of clarity or sharpness. During focus stacking, your camera has to be brought closer to the object being taken in macro mode. Well, in this scenario, my camera is set to manual focus, which means that in order to focus on a recording or stagnant image, I will have to tap the image that I want to focus on the screen. The device that I use to take my photos always lets me to reduce or increase the aperture of the image before taking it. We all know that photography and videography is a very interesting topic to talk about, so if you enjoy this video, make sure you like this video, comment and subscribe so that you won't miss out on future amazing videos. Now, one of the most important photography tips in taking photos professionally with a mobile device is that you have to increase the brightness of your LCD screen. And many people complain about not having their photos clearly, or maybe not being able to see their image properly before taking photos. So for this photography scene I will be shooting allows professional users to have the freedom of manually change or tweak the video image, ISO and white balance and so much more in regards to the kind of image you want to take. This is the white balance button. White balance WB is the camera setting to eliminate unrealistic color casts so that something which appears white in person is rendered white in your photo. In simple words, white balance allows you to select the most accurate colors for that scene. It has different scenes to choose, ranging from the sunlight, cloudy, transparent, fluorescent, nighttime, incandescent and auto, etc. The MF stands for the manual focus. The manual mode allows you to select your focal point manually. There are 3 main reasons to use this professional setting. It gives you creative control of your image. You can deal with tricky, light situations. You will get consistent exposure. Now take a look at how I ramp up the focus ring on the screen of my device from 43 to 50. You will see that the clarity becomes blurry, but when it is rolled down to 30, the image starts to get in focus. Look back at the footage. Did you also notice how the background in the field of view had a nice bokeh when I had the object placed in macro focus mode in the middle? That's because in macro focus mode, only the objects between 5 meters close to the camera would be on focus, and most of the time, images in macro modes are always super sharp with lots of details. Like in modern high-end Samsung smartphones camera, one of the mode is a macro mode. This mode allows the users to capture objects from close distance. When this mode is enabled, it switches the camera into a special close focus mode, and many allow you to get less than 10 centimeters from the subject. This is the ISO button. What does ISO mean on my phone? ISO is short for International Organization for Standardization. As you can tell, ISO on your phone is about the light sensitivity of the sensor of your mobile camera. Now let's try ramping up the ISO ring to 800 to see the outcome of our image. Let's take a look at this image, see how the exposure of the white background was bright. That was made to happen because of the ISO button was ramped up to 800. While this button right here is the aperture button. It controls the amount of light that reaches your smartphone camera sensor. A bigger aperture means that more light will land on the sensor as the diaphragm of the lens expands. Now take a look at this picture. Because of the use of smaller aperture like this image taken will restrict the amount of light that is able to enter and create a narrower depth of field. And now, this is the smallest aperture that this device can get to, as it is extremely dark but still in focus on the object. Let's see the outcome of the image. Oh wow, super dark as well. Let's now see if we could be able to capture the written text in the inside of the AirPod. Well, the text is a little bit clear, but not too sharp and crispy. On our next agenda on focus stacking in photography is the rule of thirds. Rule of thirds is the process of placing 2 equally spaced, vertical and horizontal lines across the photo, thus creating 9 squares, looking like a TAC toe board. You can have this overlay on the screen of your iPhone and Android smartphone. So the first type of image I'm going to be taking through the rule of thirds is going to look like this. In the situation whereby the bold text inscription on this bottle depends on how the degree of focus is being used in the form of the 3 lines. Reduce my aperture. As I also bring the object closer to the camera. Photo taken. Let's see the outcome. Pretty nice and dark. Shallow depth of field. For this shirt I'm going to be taking, I will be making use of the manual pro mode. Keep an eye on the presets I make tweaks to during this photo composition procedure. Photo taken. Let's see the outcome. The main field of focus was on the 5 Alive bottle, while in the middle too, and the one of this image, it has this very good shallow depth of field as seen in the back. For this second scene, I made use of a wooden phone stand for better proportion in rule of thirds. In order to get the accurate image, we'll have to bring the bottle closer to the camera lens. Then I can tap any box in the screen to get that object in focus right away. Now take a look at how I tap the screen to focus on the phone, or while taking a video or picture. Photo taken. Wow, see how the phone came out in focus. And it's also easy to see the difference because the back of the phone glows in a light blue color with the help of the phone camera's flash. Now we're going to try focus layering on this AirPod headphone. Watch. As I bring it closer to the camera lens, it gets in focus with an amazing background blur. Close the aperture a little bit more. Now we all can see that the phone in the back is no longer in view range because the AirPod has taken that second box position. The rule of thirds recommends that you place your subject at the top, bottom, left, or right area to make a good composition. Next up, we'll be trying to get our focus point manually from the top of the bottle. It may seem easy in taking these shots, but as a professional, you have to make sure that you make use of the right proportion and precision. On the rule of thirds, essentially, you should place your subject so that the middle area of the thirds grid stays empty. Shooting videos or images, which rule of thirds allows freedom of images in different arrangements. Creative applications of focus stacking with AirPods. Focus stacking with AirPods isn't just about capturing the perfect image. In this talk, we will explore the creative possibilities of this technique. We will discuss how focus stacking can be used for artistic or scientific purposes, such as macro photography, landscape photography, and many more. Once you've mastered the basics of focus stacking with AirPods, you may want to explore some more advanced techniques. Our next photography composition tips will be with the use of flashlights. When we are taking photos, sometimes we might want to highlight certain areas or create a more dramatic effect with shadows. This is where a flashlight can come in handy. First, it's important to consider the strength of the flashlight you use. If it's too weak, it won't make much of a difference, but if it's too strong. Now take a look at this amazing image. Because the flashlight is super bright, it gave the photograph a very magnificent effect when flashed on top down to the AirPod. It can overpower the scene and create unwanted glare. A flashlight with an adjustable beam is ideal, so you can control the strength and direction of the light. When using a flashlight, you want to think about where you want to place the light. Start by shining the light in different directions and angles. To get an insight on how this works or how to take spotlight top-down images and photographs, click here or click the link in the description. Gently hold the flashlight to see how it affects the scene and adjust accordingly. You can use it to highlight specific objects, create shadows, or even add a lens flare effect. It's also important to keep in mind the color temperature of the flashlight. Some flashlights may emit warmer or cooler tones, which can affect the overall color of your photo. If you want to avoid this, you can use a diffuser or even some paper to soften the beam of the flashlight. For this flashlight here, it has a very white tone, which blends very well and accurately with the base of the image, making the focus range and aperture capture most part of the image's light. When using a flashlight, you want to think about where you want to place the light. Start by shining the light in different directions and angles to see how it affects the scene and adjust accordingly. You can use it to highlight specific objects, using a flashlight for shadows, in your or even add a lens flare, add a creative and unique touch to your work. Just remember to experiment with different angles, strengths, and color temperatures to find what works best for each specific shot, and I hope this tip was helpful.
Android device, the model I think the Chinese model facing camera shoots at the megapixel resolution of 8 megapixel for this main camera lens here, and 8 megapixel for the negative. It's not an in-built battery. That's how it is. It comes with a 3100 mAh battery. You can see, let's see if we can focus. I didn't get it. So it has a 1900 mAh rated capacity, and the typical capacity is 3000 mAh, and shoots good photos. Just to tell you how good it is, the megapixel on the front facing camera is 16 pictures I took on this device, you won't be surprised. Like, these are the pictures I took here. You'll be surprised how fine they are. Sometimes they may look as if you don't really know about cameras. Let's first try portrait image. Pick one with the flash now. Let's see. So altogether, in conclusion, taking good photos professionally with a great Android device is very possible. Follow these tips and tricks to capture high quality photos, and don't be afraid to experiment and learn to take better photos. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down what you think on this comment section below, and I'll be right there to check and help you with anything you know or want to know about this video. Thanks for watching.